Hello, welcome back to the Southern Bible Thumper channel, or welcome to the Southern Bible Thumper channel. I had a realization about myself yesterday, and it's something that I've always known, but it's sort of like having a good diet. You know what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat, but it's just easier to put something in the microwave that's processed. It's just easier to stop and get. You have the right answer because I have God. I have the right answer, but it's just easier to not commit. And what comes out, the expression of your body, is a direct result of what you're ingesting. And it's the same concept with your life. And the content that I'm being recommended is telling me this over and over. You can change what your life looks like, but you have to have a different thought process. My thought process tends to be insanely negative, and the idea of like traveling to a different country or what it would look like to live in a penthouse or those things, my imagination doesn't even stretch that far. It's like the furthest my imagination stretches is the feeling of everything being paid, and I was able to get me a plate of food from a restaurant I like and I'm full and I'm safe. That's the extent of my imagination, is just having my needs just covered. That is not enough. Even though I'm a person that I can be happy with that, I can be happy with not having a huge corporate job and millions of dollars. I honestly can be happy with just living a life very close to nature. But the society won't let you have that. So you have to learn. Part of getting there is spiritual. Yes, spiritual, but it's also what your thought process is, what your life looks like as a result of what you've been ingesting and what you've been doing with the time. And that is a harsh reality and a harsh thing to understand about myself. But I caught myself. I was watching this channel, again, about this motivational stuff. If you can change how things go for you by how you think about the things. And when you think about it, it makes sense, because if you think about how horrible work is before you go to work, you're already entering work with a horrible mentality, with horrible in your heart. So all it takes is one person not speaking when you spoke to them and ignoring you. Now you're going to mull over that all day. And as the man was talking about this, I'm scrolling through the comments because I need to read what other people said about the video. I can't just watch the video. As I'm scrolling, I'm also seeing other video recommendations. There's one video recommendation about Black women. I am a Black woman, and I am very aware of the stereotypes and critiques about Black women. There are also a lot of appreciation for Black women from men and from Black men. There are lots of men doing that. But I think that's boring. It's boring to watch someone be nice. I want to hear something juicy. So even though this man is telling me step by step how to create the life that I want, how he created the life he wanted for himself, I'm clicking off of this motivational content that's good for my soul to listen to somebody talk about how horrible Black women are, how Black women are so lost and they're this and they're that. And I have to assume it's a Black man because he's an anonymous person. I have to assume he's a man because he's anonymous. A lot of these channels that are rooted in negativity, rooted in trauma bonding, because that's what these channels are. They take the worst experiences that people have and they keep talking about them over and over again, and you establish an echo chamber. Women and men have both had horrible interactions with the opposite gender. It doesn't mean that all of them are bad. It just means we all have been young and dumb and we make bad decisions based on stupid requirements. We both do that, men and women. We both choose the wrong people. We both enter into relationships with people when we're depressed, when we're not our full selves, and that messes up the relationship too. Men and women both have substance problems. They get in relationships, they make it worse. We all have negative experiences. Creating a community based on our negative experiences, especially with an anonymous moderator, is very dangerous because you create with your mind experiences and a narrative that honestly is not as balanced as it should be. It also robs you of your autonomy. It robs you of being able to make decisions because now you're not making a decision because you're making the decision. Things happen like this because that's the way this opposite gender is. That's the condition that we're in. This this material that I'm starting to get, that's totally contradictory. These videos, these channels that are being recommended are telling me if you assume good from other people, you can attract good to you. I would much rather test that out than keep doing what I'm doing because I don't like how it is. I'm also not liking my personality as much. I'm starting to feel like, why am I so vicious about every single thing? Why am I so negative all the time? I want to be married, yet I have negative observations about marriage instead of seeking out people who are married and happy. You know what? I haven't even prayed for a husband because I honestly know that I'm really not ready. I'll date a guy, I'll give him my number, I'll decide, as we're talking, I don't like him. And you know what? When that relationship breaks off, I'm relieved. I feel like, someone almost got me. So I'm not even like in a state where where I'm right for that. I click off and listen to something about Corey Holcomb and how these women, how Corey Holcomb is so, that's how men think, that's how men think. If that's how men think, then we would be okay with it, or we would at least be used to it enough to not make it a spectacle. This man told you, with all of his accomplishments, all of his clout, that the only connection that he can hope for, because he wouldn't be saying this if he even had one of those women. He can't even get one of those women as easily as talking about it, or he wouldn't be talking about it. You see how sad that is? That a man who is accomplished like he is, all he can hope for is a woman who is going to make a desperate connection to him. Because when you're desperate, you don't want the first solution that you have. You just are desperate. So she doesn't even want Corey, but that's all he can hope for because he still doesn't even have that. Do you know how sad that is? You know how low your low self-esteem has to be as a man to say that in pink attire, you're wearing all pink and a pink hat. You know how sad that is? That's sad. It's sad. We should pray for him that he can get his self-esteem up. To have money and that's all you can hope for? I have the answer. I have God's answer. God is even sending me more material so I can look at these people. I can have hope because there's so many men that are talking about things. And I'm running across men that are good, that want to figure out how to make solutions. Because that's another thing about these trauma bonding channels. And that's one reason why I had to take that colorism stuff off because it's trauma bonding. That woman that I thought helped me so much, she's trying to use her platform to destroy other content creators' platforms. And I thought that's so corny, is so whack. That is so whack. That is so whack that you want to spend your life getting your lick back because you felt like you were treated wrong as a light skinned person. So now you want to get up and you want to create a channel where, well, I'm going to destroy their spaces. Instead of just figuring out how to heal and how to move forward in a healthy way, again, anonymous. All these women falling behind anonymous teachings. I don't want that. Not only is that corny and that's lame, I would rather build from the ground up than to build on someone else's emotions like that. All of our traumas. I'm gonna get to reading. I just wanted to just mention that and just say that I see why a lot of Christians, why well, I don't even want to say anybody else, me as a Christian, I don't have these great experiences at church, but could it be that my vibe is off? Maybe I'm insanely critical of every single thing and it doesn't allow, maybe that vibe makes people not want to be around me. Maybe it's also a combination of the way I present. I do notice most women who are in church, or most Christian women who've amassed any type of following, I notice that my look is a little bit different. People, when it comes to God, they are always waiting for the other shoe to drop when somebody seems sincere, and I am too because it never seems sincere. Lastly, my imagination is so stunted because I'm feeding myself trash in my mind all the time, trash entertainment, that when somebody does come with a good message, how you can change your life by doing this, instead of listening, I can't even begin to let it penetrate because it's not juicy enough. It's just like eating processed foods and then you're going to try to eat a salad. Like after that salad at first, it doesn't taste that good. I need to put some more stuff on it. But I really have been thinking about that all yesterday and today. And so to handle the things of God, to handle this Bible, there just needs to be more decorum. There needs to be more respect, more from me. Joshua chapter 3. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and they removed from Shittim and came to Jordan, he and all the children of Israel, and lodged there before they passed over. And it came to pass after 3 days that the officers went through the host, and they commanded the people, saying, when ye seek the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, and the priests Levites bearing it, then ye shall remove from your place then ye shall remove from your place and go after it. Yet there shall be a space between you and it about 2,000 cubits by measure. Come not near unto it, that ye may know the way by which ye must go, for ye have not passed this way heretofore. And Joshua said unto the people, sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. And Joshua spake unto the priests, saying, take up the ark of the covenant, and pass over before the people. And they took up the ark of the covenant, and went before the people. And the Lord said unto Joshua, this day will I begin to magnify thee in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that, as I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. And thou shalt command the priests that bear the ark of the covenant, saying, when ye are come to the brink of the water of Jordan, ye shall stand still in the Jordan. And Joshua said unto the children of Israel, come hither, and hear the words of the Lord your God. And Joshua said, hereby ye shall know that the living God is among you, and that he will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Hivites, and the Perizzites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Jebusites. Behold, the ark of the covenant of the Lord of all the earth passeth over before you into Jordan. Now therefore take ye 12 men out of the tribes of Israel, and out of every tribe a man. And it shall come to pass, as soon as the soles of the feet of the priests that bear the ark of the Lord of all the earth, shall rest in the waters of Jordan, that the waters of Jordan shall be cut off from the waters that come down from above, and they shall stand upon an heap. And it came to pass, when the people removed from their tents to pass over Jordan, and the priests bearing the ark of the covenant from before the people, and as they that bear the ark were come unto Jordan, and the feet of the priests that bear the ark were dipped in the brim of the water, for Jordan overfloweth all its banks all the time of harvest. Then the waters which came down from above stood and rose up upon an heap very far from the city, Adam, that is beside Zadarin, and those that came down toward the sea of the plain, even the salt sea, failed and were cut off, and the people passed over right against Jericho. And the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord stood firm on dry ground in the midst of Jordan, and all the Israelites passed over on dry ground until all the people were passed clean over Jordan. Summarizing Joshua chapter 3. Israel left the territory of Shittim, went into Jordan to camp. 3 days later, officers told Israel to follow the Levite priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant, but at a distance, do not enter or go near the Ark. Verse 5, Joshua told the people to consecrate, purify, or sanctify yourselves, because the Lord is going to do amazing things. He's going to manifest. Verse 6, Joshua tells the priests carrying the ark to travel ahead of Israel, which they did. Verse 7, God tells Joshua that he will exalt Joshua or add credibility. He's going to make him raise in rank, power, character, glorify. So God says to Joshua, I will exalt you in the eyes of all Israel so that you can have that credibility that I gave Moses. Also, tell the priests who carry the ark when you reach the edge of Jordan's waters to stand in the river. So Joshua says to the Israelites that God is about to manifest. He's going to prove to them that he's going to drive out the inhabitants in Canaan. He tells Israel to choose 12 men. I am not quite sure why. He just says choose 12 men, one from each tribe. Well, I read ahead to the next chapter, but they're not going to be doing anything in this chapter. Just choose 12 from each tribe. He tells Israel that when the priests stand in the water is going to stand up in a heap. And so some of the other ones say mass, wall. So once the Levites put their feet in the water is going to recede up into a wall, mass, collection on one side, and there's going to be dry land. Verse 14, Israel left their camp to cross Jordan, and as soon as the priest's feet touched the water, it piled up a great distance away. Israel crossed on dry land as the water receded, and the priest stood in the middle holding the ark until all of Israel had passed through safely on dry land. Amazing. So this is the second time we saw waters being parted or receded for Israel. The one thing that I just wanted to point out again, what God said to Joshua and what Joshua said to the Israelites is slightly different. And so it just makes me wonder why, if God said all of that, because God did not tell Joshua that the water is going to stand on one side. And then if he did, he didn't write that in the Bible. So why is that not there? Why wouldn't God tell Joshua everything and then Joshua relate it? But the water did end up receding as Joshua told Israel. So that just was something that I thought about how God will communicate information. But you have to know, we all know, most ancient texts, I would venture to say all ancient texts, have been modified and edited multiple times. But that's just something that I noticed. Also, God moved water for Israel. And so these are just some thoughts that I had. I don't believe God told me this, but when I read this, it just made me think, Water is part of the natural condition of earth, along with emptiness and with darkness. When God was creating, He didn't eliminate darkness, He didn't eliminate emptiness, He didn't eliminate water, even though too many of these things can be harmful. Also, God He doesn't eliminate harm or reduce the intensity of the harm. What He does, He directs Israel in a manner to avoid or become prosperous in spite of the harm. So that sort of answers the question to me, why do bad things happen to good people? Because God gives people a choice. If there is no bad, there is no choice. If there's only good, that's not a choice. The only things you have to choose from is one good thing or another good thing. But if the element of harm is in the way, if the element of darkness is in the way, that is a true choice. And that is truly adhering to God because you have the option not to. That's what I have for Joshua chapter 3. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. I love you. And I'm also recording in the evening, but I really wanted to just think about what I am ingesting because I ingest a lot of negative content, a lot of negativity. No wonder I'm always vicious and seeing viciousness in everything. And my family has told me about that too. Like my dad has told me I'm mean so many times. My sister, like, that's kind of mean. You could have said it nicer. And I'm just like, I don't care. But I'm starting to care now because it's like that's all I have is to be vicious, quick-witted and vicious. And I don't want to be like that anymore. I want to see the world sweet like I used to before I started thinking life was so unfair. So also, when you ingest a lot of crap, it becomes hard to even want anything else. And it's like, I don't even want to listen to someone talk to me about how I can change my mind to change my life because it's not juicy enough. So thank you for listening. Thank you for clicking. I love you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please comment things that I am missing. If you saw something in the chapter that I didn't see, I would love to hear that because I love hearing new perspectives on literature. Have a wonderful day.